Good morning, Eugene, Oregon, and track fans. Did that scare you? I think I woke up Eric and Mitch over here. Welcome to day 10 of track and field.
Last
this
day.
is the final day. It's Sunday. It's out here. It's a little gloomy, but we made it. We made it to tell the tale. Wow. And I think it's going to be a great day. We had a great day yesterday for track and field. The women's 200, the women's 10K. And then today, those were all the races that I remembered from yesterday. But today we've got some incredible races on tap as well. A ton of finals, all finals, really, when you look at it.
Yes.
Yeah, if we look,
Just finals for the last day.
Yep, big finals day.
Big finals
No
day.
semis. And yeah, we're excited to be here.
Let's say the pledge.
Yeah.
Whose turn is
I
it?
went yesterday.
Okay.
Let's all say.
Yeah,
Let's all
it's-
We're
say.
gonna all go at the same time.
Let's all go at the
and we all
exact
just-
same time. We just say
try
something.
and do our best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it lines up, it lines up.
Okay.
I love that.
Even
yeah.
if just the last
line
phrase,
that we know.
I can't even remember
Okay.
it.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Which
One-
camera? Which camera do we want to
One,
look at?
2, 3.
New Balance celebrates runners of all levels and sizes.
stride lengths.
And no matter how good
No
they
matter
are,
how good, no matter
And
the pace,
however
the
No
you
distance,
distance,
the
or
frequency.
Yeah.
You are
you're
a runner.
You are a runner.
New Balance.
Run
Run
your
your
way.
way.
That was pretty.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We
Ah.
missed.
You guys, okay,
What?
so it seemed like you guys had some sort of.
We had a team.
You guys knew what was
We
going
knew
on.
it.
And you guys said the same thing.
Well-
I was kind of left on an island there.
Yeah. Well, I said
I guess
sizes
we didn't. I
unwillingly.
guess we didn't all just make up random things and connect
Well,
on the last
What
line.
did we miss
But that's
here?
okay.
Well, we
Oh.
did miss the.
There's no single right way to run.
Just your way.
Just your
if you're
way.
a runner, you're. But
Yeah.
we were getting rushed, and I kind of wanted to.
Say the stride length thing.
Well, I did want to sync up to the last
Yeah.
New Balance Run Your
Oh,
Way, and it just seemed like we weren't going to get there if I kept.
You lost hope.
I lost a lot
I
of
think
hope.
you two said the same thing. I think
We
if we
did.
run it back,
Well,
you
I
guys
was-
were on. You
yeah.
were
I think I was
on
just a
par.
second behind, kind of repeating. I kind of just morphed in. But so we did say of all sizes, and I didn't.
I've kind of hammered home the shapes and
Yeah.
stride. shapes.
Stride lengths is a pretty important
Yeah.
piece of your
yeah,
message.
the stride
The
length.
stride
It
length.
can't- it wouldn't be right.
The
if you-
stride length is something I have been hammering home.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter
You've
what.
been pretty passionate about it.
Yeah.
Have you thought about why you're hammering that home? I mean, really.
It's important.
Okay.
It's also, I said it the first time when I freestyled that very first time. I said shapes and stride
Yeah,
lengths.
and it
Yeah,
got-
and it got a great reaction.
now
And
I-
it got a good reaction.
Now
Yeah.
I can't stop.
He's
saying
chasing
it.
that high. You're gonna chase
Yeah.
the high of that laugh
Yeah.
forever.
And so I
When
think
you
that's
think about
I guess
it.
why I keep saying it.
I guess my point is that we all had an agreement that we'd all do different things, and then you guys
Oh,
said
no.
something beautiful.
I thought
you
you were trying to
did.
sync
And
up.
Yeah.
well, just
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah,
want to
whatever.
try it
I
again?
want an island.
No.
I think we're
I can't.
over it.
I don't think I could even say what I said again. I don't remember what I said.
Right. To be fair, what
Yeah.
is you know what though? I want to know frequency, and I'm not a physics girl, and no one's ever said I've been. But what's like the frequency of your run? Because I know speed, I know
think-
velocity.
I got this. I
but
think
what's
it's.
frequency.
I think it's
I'd like to-
how many times a week you run.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
I
gonna say.
think it's
Oh.
the frequency of how often you're running.
Well, what if you only run once a year? Are you a
You're a
runner?
And that's
runner.
okay. That's okay.
You're a
Well, I
runner.
didn't know that's what we were pledging
That-
to. If I'm being honest, this whole time.
Yeah, that
I don't know
is-
if I agree with that.
So when you heard frequency,
Yeah.
were you thinking
what
like
were you thinking?
Were you
Number-
thinking like TV frequency?
No, I was
or-
thinking of number of times you run a day. That's what I was
Jesus.
thinking.
God.
If you're not
Damn!
It's only like 1 or 2 at the max.
Give him a moon boot.
That's
If
a
you-
frequency
yeah.
though, 1 or 2.
God.
And
Have you
sometimes
ever doubled?
3. I have doubled. I actually came from a high school program where we doubled.
Overtrained.
In high school?
Overtrained.
That might have broken me. Well, hold
Overtrained.
on.
In high school.
It was like 3 miles and 4 miles.
That's
it
still-
was a
that's-
weird double. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you have
That's a-
stress-related injuries coming out of high school?
Never. Actually, and I never have. Maybe once, but it was caught so early.
Wow.
I'm
Maybe
really
we're doing it
proving you
then.
wrong.
Maybe-
Don't
maybe- yeah.
don't you come from my Schaumburg
In high
Saxons.
school, I
We
ran
were
3
state
times a
champions.
week.
3 times a week?
I ran Monday, Wednesday, Friday, weekend off.
What did you do Tuesday, Thursday?
PlayStation.
What does anyone really do?
PlayStation.
Wait, were you working out?
Yeah, they were all workouts.
They were all
so you-
workouts.
So you were strictly workouts, no jogs.
Yeah, I ran 3 miles
God.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, hard.
Okay.
And this wasn't my coach saying this is what we're gonna do. This was like, I think this is probably the best way.
Were you on the team?
Yeah. You're damn right.
You just go out, put your watch on, and be like, all right, a big 3 coming up.
Yeah, I
Like,
would
just gas 3.
All out. 5-minute pace?
Yeah, I did a cut down on the treadmill.
On the treadmill?
Uh-huh.
You weren't even outside?
And the layers of this just get weirder and
the
weirder.
craziest thing is, I had
a speed suit on,
I had a speed suit on.
actually.
I taped cotton balls in my nose, and I just breathed out of a snorkel.
That
Someone
got
was
worse.
telling us about this
Yeah.
snorkel
That
story the other day.
somehow got worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
so
did-
it was
so
like
Where did that come
it was
into
like homemade hypoxic training.
So you knew what hypoxic training was, but you still only ran 3 days a
Cotton
week
balls
and ripped
and a
3 miles
snorkel?
a day.
Well, yeah. So
Feels like
Your neighbors must have been like, that weird kid's out again.
no,
Scoffing
No,
at
weird.
fucking
And
run
he's-
again.
and then
In that
yeah,
window.
if we're gonna dive into it. That was so.
Let's dive into it.
And then
I'm
on the
interested.
days in between, I would just do like circuit training in my yard, still snorkeled up, taped up. You know, swinging around a sledgehammer, tossing cinder blocks.
Aw.
The neighbors.
Where did you grow up?
The neighbors were like, this kid is losing his mind in the
This
yard.
kid.
This kid's got duct tape wrapped around his face, and he's chopping wood again. He does it every Tuesday, Thursday,
Man.
Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was. It worked.
It clearly worked.
You
You are
know,
the
if
most
it works,
successful of us all.
It worked. Honestly, the snorkel's confusing me. Is it to funnel the air? Is it
It's
to
less.
limit
It's less.
oxygen?
It's to limit oxygen.
And then the cotton balls to limit the nose
And
oxygen.
then, and then, hold on. And when
yes,
you would
there's
get
more.
when I would get fitter, I would even tape up the hole on the snorkel and lessen the hole on it.
So you tape it over and then poke a hole in it?
Yes, sir.
You're a sicko.
Wow.
And then I would do
What did you like?
what did my parents
What did
think?
They
yeah,
just
what,
like,
or
"Go
like
on, Eric."
anyone. Did
Go on,
they,
Eric,
did
off
they
you go.
send you
This
to
was
a
the-
counselor?
Off you go, Eric.
This was the summer going into my senior year, and they're like,
Oh, they're
Yeah.
like, Eric, we were trying to save you.
Wait,
Please
you
don't
saved
do this
this?
outside.
You
Oh.
saved it for your senior year, meaning you were like, all right, senior year, I finally
Yeah.
got it.
I gotta lock it in.
I got it.
I gotta lock in.
And
Hey,
you PR'd?
parties? Not interested. Snorkel
Nah.
time, baby.
Yeah.
Snorkel
No,
time.
exactly. My parents were like, "Oh, this is way better than what he usually does in the summer."
That's true.
Like, good for him.
Yeah. Hey,
he is.
as long as you don't funnel beers down
chopping.
there,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
as long
kids
as
go
you
to
chop the
parties.
wood. As long as you keep the snorkel dry.
No,
Like,
yeah.
good for him.
They're like, he's not-
chopping all this wood and just.
Oh,
The
that's,
house is
and it's
warm.
helpful.
He's
Yeah.
kind of ruining the yard, just throwing cinder blocks around in it.
Right, right.
But whatever, what can
He's
you do?
losing
It's
oxygen
completely out
to
of control.
the
So when you
brain.
then progressed through college and like got to the
I-
forest,
I-
did you ever suggest, guys, this is it's gonna sound weird, but hear me out.
Hear me
Yeah,
out.
look, it worked
Cotton
for me.
balls and a snorkel.
It worked
and
for
I
me in
swear
high
to God,
school.
I'll rip.
No,
No,
I never thought about
So
it.
that was the end of
Yeah.
the snorkel. High school.
Yeah, well, because it was like once you start running more than 9 miles a week,
Hard to do the snorkel.
it's hard.
It's
The
hard.
snorkel
Hard to
stuff
snorkel.
doesn't.
Pure
Okay.
oxygen.
Yeah.
I see. Now the tape is making sense.
Well, have the
The
cotton
tape
balls
that-
got to stay in there.
Yeah, but no, I mean the tape that you wore in your 10K. Like,
Oh.
how was that like not acceptable? Like, when you, I feel like you've done shameless
There's
snorkel
hands
things.
down the least weird
That's the
thing you've
least
done.
weird
putting
thing
the
you've
tape
done,
on.
Eric.
Yeah, but I looked stupid. That's the whole
Whoa!
point.
You think the snorkel and fucking cotton
Yeah.
balls was like, no, I look sick
I
doing
looked
that.
sick. You should have seen it.
Are there any do your
Wow.
parents have photos?
I did try and take the snorkel stuff to the streets at one point, like.
Like down the
Wait,
shop?
how-
Well, because the
To a turkey trot or
the tread
something?
no, that's I should have thought about that. The treadmill only got to 5-minute pace, and I was like, I gotta
Gotta get
No.
I
faster.
gotta get faster, and my parents were like, you can't run down the road like that.
Oh, so they were aware. They were.
Oh, yeah,
they were trying to help.
Oh,
you.
they were
were like,
aware.
look, we
it
gotta
was-
keep
that it
crazy
was messed up.
inside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I did at one point try and add a weight vest into the mix down, like on the streets, and they were like, it looks like you're just running around with like a bomb vest on, strapped up, taped up
For
completely.
sure. We're getting welfare
They
check.
would have
Like
thought you were
it's-
like a conspiracy
Yeah.
theorist running around.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a scene over there. But
How
Yeah,
many times
that-
did that run take place outside with the weight vest?
oh, it didn't take place. It took place once. I think I like went outside to start the run, and my mom's like, "No."
What's your mom's name?
Hey, come back in.
Sheila.
Sheila.
We contain
Smart
this.
lady,
we
Sheila.
keep this in the
Yeah.
house.
That's an Aussie name.
We keep
keep it in the house.
We love
it
you
in.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are
Go
we?
out there.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
eat you alive. Alright, just stay in here. It's safe and comfortable. We'll get
Stay-
a new treadmill.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do whatever we need. But
Is
for
that
the
where
love
the-
of God, stay inside.
Is that where
please.
it stopped though? Meaning, okay, so obviously you get to college. you aren't doing the snorkel anymore because you've upped your mileage and maybe like, brain function is at risk here. Are you doing anything crazier like that though? It just cold turkey. You're like, I'm done. I'm going to train normally. It's just, that was the segue.
Do you ever think about it? Like if you were in a rough patch and you're like, guys, hear me out. I know one thing that's going to get me humming right now.
Well, the funny thing is, because it's like the exact opposite of altitude training. You're training high and living low.
Yeah.
And I think all the science came back that that's probably not the way to do it.
That's not it.
Yeah.
Wow. But you were working
but there
harder.
actually, I think there were times where I was like, I might want to bring it back.
Do you ever think
Really?
about? Obviously not. But
Do you ever think? No.
Yeah.
sleeping in it and then training without it.
No,
sleeping in it.
I never did. I never.
Then that would be the
Well, that's like
sleeping high training.
No. It's funny because there's this big thing of people taping their mouths.
Yes.
Whoa,
And
whoa, whoa.
I taped my nose and just
kept the mouth.
kept the mouth wide open.
I need that oxygen. Not
It's the
nostril
opposite
oxygen.
trend. Hey,
yeah.
don't
The
hit on
things
people
you know.
that tape them out. That's the thing. It's
I was
supposed
not
to
doing that in high
chisel
school.
your jaw, ladies. That's what the mouth taping is supposed to do.
Well, it's if you're mouth breathing, you're triggering your flight or fight.
oh, I've
yeah,
just
it's
been
not,
like,
it's not good to be
be like,
just constantly breathing through your mouth. Yeah.
Oh.
wow, I didn't know that.
You-
Well-
It's not just a mewing thing.
Okay.
I'm no.
Yeah.
I didn't know I've been sleeping, like a bear is about to attack me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I-
ready to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, there
You know,
go.
okay. Wow, I didn't know that was an option. But all that to say, your frequency a day in
All
high
that-
school,
Oh yeah.
3
Oh
times.
yeah. Frequency.
Mitch, what was your frequency?
I was probably training like 4 times a week, 5 times a week. But my
Wow.
coach when we were young, I don't know why we did this, but we would do like spiked up speed. No, we'd do a spiked up speed session on a Monday, then like hills and like endurance on a Tuesday.
back to back.
Yeah, it was weird. No wonder all of us got stress fractures. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, another speed session. Friday, nothing. Saturday, a longer session. And then Sunday was like core strength and like a bit of running. But like we wouldn't necessarily always make it to the Sunday. So I would say we trained
Yeah.
You wouldn't make it to Sundays often.
not all the time.
Not usually how you want to set up a training schedule.
No.
Look,
Yeah.
if you make it to Sunday,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
half the
if
battle.
If you make it to Sunday, we can do a little core.
We can throw some weights around.
Yeah.
No, I was like, we all got really fast and we were all like
Yeah.
pretty good at 18.
Were there any easy?
19, 20, 21 were rough.
This,
Okay.
It actually sounds like this guy would have loved if I tossed that snorkel idea to
If
him.
you rocked
Right.
up to our training, and shout out to Steve, my coach when I was a kid, and Steve saw that, he'd be like, this guy fucking gets it. This
Oh,
guy's
old guys love that.
This guy's not making it to
this-
Sunday.
this guy. No, sorry.
Sunday's not even
It's
on your
it's
training
not-
plan.
It wasn't like a, we're going to absolutely flog the shit out of you. And if you make it to Sunday, good for you. It was just like,
Okay.
So be
it was a fun
Yeah,
time in
yeah,
Australia
yeah,
on the weekend. So sometimes you didn't get up
Wow.
for Sunday. But my parents would always be like, I don't care how you come home on Saturday. We're driving you to that session on Sunday. We're not paying this guy for you to be hungover on Sunday. You're going.
Wait, what's the drinking age in Australia?
It's 18.
Okay,
But
legally.
It's a moving target.
Mitch.
Yeah. You're
Drunk.
telling me you didn't. Well,
Let's get into underage drinking.
Listen.
you're telling me no one
I
here
was
drunk
doing
underage.
2 days. No, I didn't. I actually didn't drink till I was 21.
Snorkel boy drunk for sure.
What can I say?
Through the snorkel.
I do.
It's funneling beer,
I do
yeah.
like how you said moving target.
It
Yeah,
was a moving
target.
Because it's legally, yes, 18. Social, if you talk social legality, like 15, 16.
15?
Yeah, probably.
Wow, but your brain's not developed. And that's the important thing, kids, is you shouldn't drink
Don't underage
before
drink.
your brain is developed. And you heard it here first from the Aussie.
Don't do it.
Wow. So wait, I want to know though, real quick. That was your running training. What would you do for race walking? I don't want to bring it back to that, but I do.
Oh.
Well, how would you differ training?
I
I'm
mean,
curious.
you would well,
Walk.
Well, besides
everything
the
I
obvious.
just said, but
Yeah.
you're walking
You're
instead.
walking.
But are you working out?
Yeah,
picking it up?
because I never did it. My obviously dad did
Right.
it, and my sister did it, and then I think he was like, "You." Honestly, I think he looked at me and was like, "You're probably not coordinated enough to nail this." So let's
'Cause
just
you're drunk,
let's just,
Mitch.
Yeah, let's
'Cause
just
you're
stick,
drunk.
let's just stick with the running. I don't think you have the discipline for the walk. I said that's a good call. So he stayed away from that. But the way that he described it, they would, and back in the day, he would do some crazy training because he was also a full-time carpenter, so he was never a full-time professional athlete. So he'd be on the tools from 7 till 3, and then he'd go out and rip like 15-mile session race walking, and then wake up the next day
How
and
much
do
time
it
is
all.
that?
What a
How much
legend.
time
Yeah.
is 15 miles in race
Well,
walking?
a lot. You're out there for like, if you're training, like 2+ hours
Wow.
probably.
Okay.
What's
And
he like to go for a walk with now?
Oh, his
Like,
hips are fucked. So
Yeah, okay. But
I'm
he's not-
moving right on past him. Yeah, I'm like, see you, Dad.
I could just see him going for a walk, and you're like, "Can you slow down a bit?"
Hey,
it's on the
man.
watch.
Yeah.
It's like, pick it up. We
Pick
haven't
it
even
up.
got there yet. Nah, he had his hip replaced not too long ago. So
Yeah, are you guys afraid of that?
No.
No.
Like in general, that
I'm afraid of sharks.
you're afraid
That's
of
it.
sharks. Well, you got the
Snakes
snorkel,
for me.
so you'll make it. But
no, I don't.
I'm not afraid of getting my hip
I don't think I
replaced.
pounded the pavement enough
No.
to get it
Definitely not.
replaced
I only
No?
ran 9 miles a week for a lot of it.
with a snorkel.
I would say,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
really like back-ended it.
Hold on. so
Yes,
if your
exactly.
mileage in high school was 9,
It was only 9 for
mine
like
was
a
probably
summer.
because we were doing more speed stuff. It was probably like 30.
I think I had the
What was
most
yours?
miles. We did like 40 to 50.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know?
Maybe that's why I didn't adjust to college very well though.
Yeah.
Because I was coming from 30 miles a
No,
week.
you can do that and still not adjust to
In the
college as
80.
well in 40 to 50.
Yeah.
But do you think there's an optimal? I'm as a marathon.
miles?
Yeah, for maybe you personally, because guys, for people at home, Mitch is training for a half Ironman.
Yep.
And what kind of mileage are you going to put in for that?
Well, this week I've done 7. So
Excellent.
that's pretty
Was
productive.
it all yesterday?
Yeah. Eric and I were
No.
really strong the first 3 days. We ran 3 days in a row, and then we went to the group runs and walked yesterday's group one.
Oh.
But
we had a job to do.
We had a job to do, and we kept people safe.
We were
Right,
allowed
no.
to run.
And that was an important thing.
Exceeded job.
The part of the half Ironman for me is I'm not worried about the run. The half marathon, like I can get through that.
Okay.
If my body's trained for anything,
Mm-hmm.
it's that. The swim, I'm a good swimmer, so I feel confident there.
Oh.
It's the bike,
Oh.
and I don't know what it is in miles. 90 kilometers on the bike. I'm scared for that.
Yeah.
That scares the fuck out of me because I think I'm gonna get bored or I'm gonna get restless and I'm gonna go too hard, and it's gonna make that half marathon nearly impossible.
Because it's the middle event?
Yeah, and I'm just scared I'm going to do something silly, and I
Oh.
actively think that's going to happen. And I'm aware of it, and I can't stop myself from doing it. And that's
Yeah.
a really hard thing to explain to someone who doesn't have ADHD because
Yeah.
I can't control that. It's going to happen, and I might bomb out.
Can't
on the bike.
control it. Okay. No,
and
that's
I keep
fair.
telling my girlfriend like you need to like yell at me or something because I'm going to be in a pixie land.
You need to yell at
I
me
need to,
on
I need
and
to be
off
yelled
the
at.
course.
I need to be something
Keep them
needs
in
to happen.
shape.
But I'm pretty excited for it.
Yay.
Yeah.
When
Haven't
is
signed
it
up yet.
again?
That's a good question. November?
Okay. No, that's
Yeah,
great.
November.
Uh,
I'm excited.
yeah. Well, good.
I
Keep
might
it.
I can't wait
I
to
might go
watch.
and buy a snorkel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to think that's not a
I
bad
think
idea
Eric's
to get
onto
fit.
something.
I'll get you fit.
Do you want to write my program?
I'll write your
He'll get you
program.
fit.
All right,
but
Mitch,
not to Sunday.
9 miles.
Yeah.
Split them up. Snorkel time.
It's
Wow.
a quality over quantity thing in my
I'm about
regime.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right about that.
That sounds like these are 2 quality over quantity guys, and we've
Yeah.
always said that. Speaking of quality over quantity, yesterday
segue.
we had some few races compared to other days, but a lot of quality on the track there. Particularly for me, the women's 10K. Did that kind of spark some interest, guys? That was a weird question.
What? Yeah.
But
I'm like, yeah, it sparked. Great, yeah, really exciting race.
yeah.
It ticked all the boxes. It wasn't fast the whole time, but then Parker Valby hit the front towards the end, picked it up, gap separated, and then that last home stretch
Yeah.
was really great. I think everybody is kind of excited to see Parker make her first team, and yeah, I mean Winnie obviously ran fantastic. She was the only one with the standard. We were sitting here. Chris was doing some insane numbers crunching.
Crazy.
But I think she's in. I think her and Chris are both in.
Yeah. I think.
It feels
Chris is-
right.
I mean,
She's in. We're gonna say that
Oh,
confidently.
sorry. I thought you said Chris.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck's
well,
Chris
as
doing
Chris
in there?
will say, he
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
doing the marathon
Yeah, he
at the
is.
and he.
He's missing a session to do the marathon. Like I think he misses like the 1500 or something.
I think he's gonna the Olympic marathon is a few hours is in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
which I imagine he'll be absolutely wrecked for.
Oh yeah, it's the women's marathon the next day. He's not going to be well.
He's not going to like. It's
Chris
not
is
gonna be good.
racing in Paris.
Chris is running
I didn't
a
know this.
marathon in Paris.
The marathon
yeah.
participant.
He's participating.
All right.
He will be there.
He'll be there running.
Yeah, he will be
Wow.
there. Yeah, this race was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I was looking at the splits because I was trying to remember exactly where the fracture was made and maybe how much of an aggressive kick it was. They moved at the 7K mark. They were ripping 79-second laps, and then it was straight down to 74s.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-second gap, like a 5-second differential, and then you can see these times really start to fluctuate. Like that big 3 then just started to move away. Like I said, I think there's a lot of credit that needs to be given to Parker Valby because a lot of people were very critical of the way that she runs in terms of getting out front. And the question was always, if she isn't out front, what's that going to look like for her? How is she going to handle maybe not her similar type of race?
Yeah.
How is she going to absorb the moment? She was the one who really seized the moment. She was the one who made that move, had the 2 follow with her. And to your point last night, or maybe it was you, I can't remember which one of you made it, but she was unable to attach herself to that group. She didn't get broken. She didn't drop off, like make this big move and everyone go, thanks for that, Parker, and then drop off the back. Like she hung tough, she hung in there. And without the dip at the line, she wasn't making that Paris team. So I feel like it's kind of poetic that like the conversation being like, does she have it in her to finish off a race like this? And it all comes down to how well she finished and how well she ran through the line. So shout out to her. Like it's always... People talk about storylines like, it'd be great if she made the team, but now it's like, oh no, she actually did make the team. Like, she really fulfilled it all out there. So it was cool.
It was like a storybook ending. You know, I do think me up here, I was like, can Parker close? Can she have a fast, last mile, last lap, compete against a lot of these women who have 1,500 meter strength? Stand corrected. I will say I don't think Carissa is in her top form. I think in the 5K, as we saw, she's coming back from that calf injury and she's not at her best, but that doesn't matter. It's who's the best on the day. And I hope this gives Parker confidence to, go to Paris and, rely on other strengths besides just going to the front. Because I can imagine, in a final, in the 10K, it's not going to be Parker leading. It's going to be her more hanging on. And now that she's got experience doing this strategy, I think it's going to be a pretty great showdown with her in it. Also, Winnie Colati, she could have easily came in and dogged it. I think that is an incredible storyline. That's what I took out of the 10K yesterday. She could have came in with the standard, dogged it, gotten, behind third place, and still gone, right? And she didn't. I also didn't know this on a more kind of note, she is a refugee and she came over here and I had no idea, and she's just someone that I think that's very inspiring. I think to people see her on the track, just someone who clearly is determined and just very tenacious on the track, so good for her. And then obviously Carissa,
I think so 10 years ago she sought asylum here. In fact, apparently it was like here in Eugene, and she came across from Eritrea. She said yesterday in her interview, a lot of people in a home country, or like this is her home country now, but Eritrea would have been watching on. So clearly she's a very popular athlete, no matter where she is. But to your point on, like, she could have just jogged it in and made it. If she had to come 7th, she would go to the Olympics, but she doesn't get the lap. She doesn't get the big flag, the gold medal, the big moment that you clearly get when you make the team. Because like if she was 5th, and let's say, for example, like it was Parker, Carissa, and then Jessica McLean. It's like, they get the lap. And then when he just comes through the mix zone, it's like, hey, good luck at the Olympics. So it would have been weird if she had have done that. But clearly she's a competitor. And clearly, like, in that kick, she could have just gone, oh, well, I'll be 3rd. That's fine. But she was like, nah, I'm winning this thing. Like, why would I come all this way not to win it? I kind of respect the hell out of it. I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And she took her lap. I don't know if you guys see that. I mean, I love that. I don't know if you guys are seeing that in the stands, like watching athletes take their lap. I mean, I think I first noticed it in the men's 15 where they were going around and, it was like, oh my God, the race has been over for like 30 minutes. And, we see Cole Hawker, Yard Nagu still on the track, meeting with the fans, taking photos. That's what it's all about. And, Winnie Colati definitely took her time out there. So I think she's hopefully soaking it all in. Well deserved.
Have you seen the video? I saw it this morning of Haas and Will Lear.
No.
Have you seen this?
No.
They're going absolutely ballistic at like the top of the straight. I think it's on Haas's Instagram.
For what, right?
For Winnie, because
Winnie,
Haas is her manager and coach. And
Okay.
so they're just they're jumping around like a bunch of school kids. absolutely delirious with 100 meters to go, which is great to see. Which is great to see that passion towards it. But I guess it's cool to see like what the vibe of like the tribe around you, I guess, is when something like that happens. But
I love those videos. I wonder who had the longest victory lap in the trials so far. Gabby Thomas.
Wow.
She was out there a long time.
She was out there a long time.
Yeah, she was out there a long time.
Yeah, well, talking about the women's 200, that was an incredible finish.
Here it is.
It was. Oh.
Watch Will steps back. He's waiting for the hug, and then Stevie goes, "No, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else." He gives him a hug at the end.
We've all been there.
That's
all
great.
right?
I love that.
Oh no, video.
Oh well.
Yikes. But that's incredible. You always got to have that support system, and I'm loving. That's the magic of Hayward Field. I think being here as a fan as well. But talking about that women's 200, it was a showdown. Holy cow! Biggest upset with Sha'Carri getting fourth. Handled it like a pro. She was hugging every single woman out there that got that top three. So props off, to Sha'Carri. I'm not sure what that L is. There is
I think it's a lane violation.
Is it a lane violation?
Yeah, we're talking about the yellow L that comes up next to her name when you see it in the results. But I believe it's lane violation.
I got this race very wrong.
I think a lot. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah. Well, I
think most people would just have it was Sha'Carri 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Right. Brittany Brown wasn't. I know from our predictions yesterday, we didn't really have Brittany Brown in the talks. It was kind of a variation of Gabby, Mackenzie, Sha'Carri, but a heck of a race from Brittany Brown. I mean, she was looking strong. I think it was Sha'Carri noticed. I think it was her that was coming up on her, and she kind of let up. It looked like Sha'Carri, which props to her. If you know your strengths, you're not going to get it. She came hammering home, and that was a surprise to me, definitely.
Yeah, it was a great race. I mean, like I keep saying, the depth in this country is wild. That you have everybody under 22.6, which is just ridiculous. But also good for Mackenzie Long, right? I feel like she had a lot of pressure coming into this, and obviously it didn't quite work out for her in the 100. But this is really her big time event. And to step up and to step into an Olympic position is really significant. And now I could imagine the feeling is once you become an Olympian, at least you always have pressure moving forward. But it's like, all right, I have achieved the best team you can possibly achieve. Yeah. So everything from here, I feel confident to be able to qualify for. Whereas I can imagine if she were to just miss at like this young age and coming out of college, maybe that would be hard for her, but she really stepped up and stepped into the moment, and she had a big support crew there as well. Like Brittany Brown as well ran a PR lifetime best 21.9. It was a great race.
Yeah, it's life changing, right? To make an Olympic team at any age, it's life changing. And then someone like Mackenzie Long. A question I kind of have. I mean, this kind of gets into the weeds, but as we know, she debuted her new kit. Do we think it's a pro or a con to solidify a pro deal like that maybe before you've run your final? I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it looks fantastic for Adidas.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
As a company, they're probably stoked.
Of course.
Right?
You want your athlete winning and making these teams in your uniform and in your product. So yeah.
Right.
And her stock is just so high right now, coming off of NCAAs, coming off such a big meet, going into these trials. So that's definitely.
She would have had a bonus clause in her contract of making the team.
And that's kind of what I mean is these athletes you're getting signed. We haven't seen anything from, example, Parker Valby yet and it's almost like, do you wonder if they're waiting to see, hey, where am I going to make an Olympic team? What can I leverage here? Just more on a business side. And you see athletes also arrive to their first prelim in a new kit debuting. So you almost just wonder the business side of things. Like, is someone kind of seizing their opportunity, not banking that they're going to make a final and have, a life-changing moment? Or do they pan out? Someone like Mackenzie Long, who I would say was always in that top 3.
It's like the intricacies of track and field contracts are always an interesting topic, because what you think they look like is never actually what they do look like.
Yeah.
So I could imagine Mackenzie Long, she would be getting paid. She would have a pretty tidy contract, but maybe the benefit of having a large bonus for making the Olympic team outweighed what a base salary might have looked like
that
instead.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I guess she would have, I don't know who her manager is, but she'd obviously have somebody very intelligent taking care of that. And I get to to Parker's point, like maybe hers was more, no, I'm going to bank on the fact that I'm going to hopefully make a team, and that then drives my stock up.
Yeah.
Even further, like there'd be so many layers to these decisions, but
for sure.
Adidas is sitting there going, "Yep, we nailed that. We nailed that one."
Excellent. But yeah, an incredible final nonetheless. Before we move on, any other noteworthy performances from yesterday that stood out to you guys?
Men's too.
Yeah, men's too was
Now look,
wild.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I kind of called it.
Yeah, you called it.
Remember, you were yelling at me
screamed
yesterday.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Wait, yeah, do the scream.
You,
Do the scream.
I
you
did.
thought I was just gonna blow right over that. No,
Actually, when he ran the time, I was like, fuck. I hope Eric's not watching.
I remember. I believe
that
it
he
was.
can't read.
I believe it
Yeah.
was exactly 24 hours ago where I said Noah Lyles is gonna win running 19.5, and it's gonna
You
take
did say that.
and it's gonna take a sub 19.8 to make that team.
Okay,
And-
well, I don't know about the 19.8 part. I don't think you've added that in.
No,
he said
okay,
that?
I heard it.
Okay, Max got a good memory.
Oh,
like-
I
I'm
guess
like-
we'll trust Mac over the other person
Yeah.
that was up here and heard it.
I back you both in. But I've seen Mac do some spooky stuff with memory.
Okay.
I'll back him in.
But yeah,
I
you're
definitely
gonna-
remember the
you're-
19.5,
Yeah.
and I definitely remember looking at the clock, and I was like, "Oh well, I'm a dickhead. I know nothing about sprints, clearly."
Yeah, amazing race.
yeah.
Like, I was a bit surprised because this was a fast race. I was kind of surprised to see it not faster on the women's side. But like Kenny Bednarik just pushing Noah right to the line. Like he
Yeah.
didn't it wasn't just in the bag for Noah.
Well, he came off the turn, I want to say, maybe even a little ahead of Noah. Yeah, he gave him someone to chase.
Yeah,
You're so right.
I mean, and then Ariane Knighton, of course, storming down too.
Yeah.
Christian Coleman, like you see him in fourth. You wonder what if he ran more 200s if because he ran 19.8 in the semis too.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he just ran more of them if he'd be a threat to make. I mean, definitely
Yeah.
would be a threat to make the team. But
Yeah.
how much time he could shave off that. It was a fantastic race that lived up to all the hype.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been Christian's start's always so good.
Yeah.
So you're sort of like, okay, like let's see how he goes. On the flip side of that, and I said this last night with Caitlin, like Arian Knighton's start was horrifyingly bad. He was sixth
start?
out of the block. Yeah, he was sixth
Oh.
when he came out of the blocks. Obviously, if you slip back like that, people like Kenny B and Noah Lyles are going to make the most of that opportunity, and they did.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot to deal with. He's had a lot of things clearly going on in the lead up to these trials. Like I said last night, like he didn't want to talk to any media until the finals, and then obviously he was like, "No, I'll talk to the media," and was like, "Look, it's been stressful. I'm obviously innocent, and I've always maintained that innocence." The media was very respectful as well. Like I'm actually surprised more people didn't go for drill into that and be like, well, walk us through the process. So shout out to the media because sometimes it can go one of two ways. But he gets himself on a team now. That's clearly the most important thing. He's on that team now. He can get that monkey off his back. He can get to Paris. And I thought he was going to win. So I was yelling at you being like, Arian Knighton. And you're both right. I was doing that for sure. And I think you can get to Paris now. And I think you can. I think you can do something pretty special.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to because we made a lot of bets all in shoeys.
Oh,
It's a
that's-
lot of drinking.
It's a
yeah.
lot of
It's a lot of
of
How many
beers out
shoes
of
do
the
you
shoe.
have? Is the question.
It's about picking the right shoe.
Yeah.
That's what this comes down to.
Oh, you can
And these
re-pour.
aren't it.
Yeah, actually, wait.
You can
you're
re-pour.
not wearing the shoe. Like you're
Yeah.
wearing. You're
Oh,
purposely giving
what
the shoes you're gonna do
No,
the shoes
What in
out
the
of a break.
Birkenstock?
You're not. I mean, obviously, you're not doing it out of that.
No, because it would just go everywhere.
Yeah.
It would.
But it's like you're not walking around. You better be walking around in those New Balances so that
like you want them
can get-
nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're pretty nasty. Like, I've been walking around in them for 10 days. It's not like I've just had them on hold, being like, okay, if I do these
All
shoey
right.
bets, these are the ones.
The right.
I haven't, just a pair of shoes I haven't cracked out yet. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're following through with this whole shoey thing. It's time to get them out.
God, how many shoeys have each of you done in a lifetime?
Never.
Well,
I
Never?
haven't done a shoey.
Wow, okay. You're talking a lot of shoe
and
game.
you've never
over
done a
there.
shoey either.
I've never done a
You
shotgun
talk like
beer.
a pro.
Yeah, you're talking.
You've never shotgunned a beer?
No, I've said this a
Yeah,
few
she did
times.
say
Mitch.
that.
I was so
and she-
angry yesterday.
Yeah.
I was not
She-
paying attention.
Oh
Wow.
man, I haven't, and it's because in college. Okay, I'm just gonna say we're at because I was over 21 because I'm responsible.
Yep.
It was a darty, a day party. You know, if you're up with the lingo.
What a time.
And I didn't know. I've never shotgunned a beer. And they were like, here, we're gonna all shotgun beers. We just graduated, and I got the beer, and someone took their keys.
Yep.
And cracked the side of it, and that was disgusting. They
You-
dipped their keys in
You
the
can do it with
beer.
You can do it with
You can
your
bite
teeth
it,
as
yeah.
well.
Well, that's not how it was done for me.
so I've heard.
And it was grossed me out. I was like, absolutely not. And now apparently I'm making the leap from that to shoe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well-
I'll change it up then. I'll give you an option. You can either shotgun them or you can do the shoey.
All right, well, I'm
Because
doing
it's
the
a big
shotgun.
jump for you to move straight from like
It
I'm
really
digesting
is.
beers regularly to like take your shoe off.
But you can bite. You can bite it.
You can
Is
bite
that-
it, but it
All
plays
right.
with its own dangers.
You could go into the ER for profusely bleeding from your mouth. We
Yes,
don't know.
Yeah.
You could.
It could go either
happen.
way.
Yeah. But then if you don't like the key,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to find
Yeah.
something.
It was a
then.
germ.
Yeah.
It was like
if you're
well,
really germed out
Was it
about the key, the
I was
shoes
germed
gonna
out.
the
suck.
person that was giving the keys?
Oh, yeah,
You're
the
like,
key was fine. It was
I
the
don't know-
person.
I don't know about that
Yeah.
guy. Okay.
The guy
you,
was
you,
gross.
you can have a choice.
Yeah,
All
we'll,
right.
we'll see how the post-race show goes.
We'll
Yeah.
game time it, but never done a shoey. Has done multiple shoeys.
A lot of shoeys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
A
it's
lot.
an- it's-
you know
it's
who
an
loved,
Australian
you know who
thing.
loved the shoey? Pat Tiernan's younger brother, Jack.
Oh, we call
I'm
him
imagining. Shout out to Jack.
All right, Jack.
Thought you'd get away unscathed.
He loved his shoe.
Loved the shoey.
Yeah.
concerning amount of shoeys.
Would bring them out at the most inconvenient of times.
Didn't have shoes.
Yeah, it'd be
And
like
found a
shoe.
You'd be like just having. It's like, do you want to have some beers tonight? It's like, yeah, sure. And everyone's just having a beer, and there's Jack.
Jack, we've been barefoot, Jack.
It ain't
Where
that
did you
night,
get
Jack.
that shoe?
Put it away. Put it away. Then he put his shoe back on and be like, dining hall? It's like, dude, you stink.
Shoeys were they created in Australia?
No, yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
The way it's labeled.
Shoeys became popularized.
You shoey.
Listen to the history of shoeys, everybody.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
as an Australian shoey historian,
Yeah.
they were popularized by Daniel Ricciardo when he
Wait,
won.
Daniel Ricardo from
Daniel
Australia?
Ricciardo. Yeah, he's Australian.
Okay, sorry.
He's
I'm sorry.
He's
It didn't
Australian.
sound
He doesn't.
Australian.
Yeah, sometimes he doesn't sound Australian.
Okay, well, I meant the name.
Oh, well, sometimes his accent gets mixed too. So
Okay.
you've gone double barrel there. I like
right.
it. But he won, I think it was like Monaco or one of the Grand Prix, and everyone was like, gave him champagne. They're like, Daniel, drink from the bottle. And
Yeah.
he took his boot off
Like,
and
no,
drunk it straight
we
out of the
didn't
boot.
want you to do that.
That
I think that's where it got popularized.
Yeah.
But I think there was
Yeah.
some
I'm
outback
like,
Aussies doing this for
I was
years.
gonna say who taught him,
Probably
Yeah, where
his
did I
old
see
man.
that?
And then his old man picked it up from the pub.
and then Jack Tiernan saw that. Saw
Jack
it, was
Tiernan,
like,
he was.
Yeah.
Was a shoe merchant.
I want that clipped.
Yeah.
I'm going to send that to him. I'm going to say, Jack,
No, Jack Tiernan's watching Daniel Ricciardo goes, that's it.
I've been missing that.
That's it.
I've been missing
Wow.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
That was good.
Let's bring it out. Jack
Jeez.
Tiernan was a shoey merchant. Yes.
Because, like,
and
how-
anyone at Wake will agree with me.
Let's get that on
He
a
was.
T-shirt, honestly.
We
Because
should get that on a
Drinking
t-shirt.
a beer out of your
should.
shoe does have to be like one of the most inconvenient. Like,
Yeah.
It's a
there's
pro- it's
nothing
a
I hate
process.
more than wet shoes.
It's a process.
Like wet socks, wet shoes.
Hold on.
Hate it.
Yeah, but
And now
you're talking about
I'm-
the after
and
fact?
now-
That's the worst part is putting the wet shoe back on
That's
and not
a-
the grime and
Yeah.
dirt.
I can see that
that's
being a
now
bad
in
part.
your
I can
see that being a- I
digestive
can see that
tract,
being a-
That would be a bad part.
processing through.
But it's your feet.
but
I hope
not.
no context
But
clips this.
but it's your socks that have been kind of around. I see that it's your feet.
Yeah.
I see that, but it's the outside that's now going inside.
I would, and look, as the only guy who's done a shoey here,
True.
you can deal with the wet, like the wet part
Right.
afterwards because you're probably pretty drunk by the time
Right.
you've done the shoey. So you're not thinking too much.
Right.
The thought process of you standing in a room or a party and as an Australian in a foreign country, I can tell you, it's like, do the shoey, and it's
Right.
like, the new
Do the
shoes. And I've been walking around in them for 2 days. It's the thought process of going like, God, did I wash my socks properly? Like, what's this shoe been through?
Oh.
It's got a bit of tang when you first start drinking it. By the second or third shoey, it's not a bad time.
But, oh,
It's not a bad time.
you've washed it out. It's shoey though. I can say it does sound Australian. It kind of sounds like you're calling someone a bad. Oh, look at that shoey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, let me debunk this myth as well.
Debunk it.
It doesn't happen very often. So we're not going to pubs and like parties and stuff, and everyone's just walking around with their shoe, like, "Hey, you have a good weekend."
Yeah.
It's a rare thing that
Hey.
it's a rare thing
There's
to
no
happen.
there's no cups in Australia.
Yeah, it's just all shoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
strictly shoes.
Yeah.
But if someone calls for it and they're like, "Do a shoey," it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like a rock up to a house, bring a 6-pack and a shoe.
Right, but you.
It's like
Jack
But Jack
Tiernan.
Tiernan, no.
Yeah, he did do that.
And also-
he's gonna wake up. He's asleep right now. He's gonna wake up and be like, "What the
What
fuck?"
in the
He's like,
clickbait?
hey,
I haven't been in America in 4 years.
Yeah.
What the hell am I
Hey,
getting
hey,
this
Mitch,
notification
can you
for?
not? Would you mind just shutting the hell up for once?
This is a good thing because they can't rebut,
Yeah.
and they can't be like,
You're
"We want
right.
to hear about Mitch in college." You're like, no.
Yeah,
don't do
give
that.
us some Mitch stories if
No,
you're waking
no.
up to this and you want to, put them on blast.
No, don't do
It
that.
just sounds though. I'm just
Go
gonna
back
say,
to bed.
It sounds like you guys don't need to be easily convinced. It just sounds like there's beer and someone's like, should I do it? And they're like, no, we don't need it. And you're like, I'll do it. And then you're doing shoeys and no one really asked for it. Is that?
It's a rubber arm thing.
It's
Yeah.
a rubber. arm.
Yeah. I mean,
People are walking around going like this.
guys have drank beers out of a
twisted.
lot nastier things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys done a Zamboni?
A what?
Have you heard of a Zamboni?
Isn't that the thing that cleans ice? And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but sometimes when you spill beer, they'll chant Zamboni,
Oh, no.
and then you become the
that's-
Zamboni, and you have to Zamboni
I
the
argue
drink.
that's
Yeah.
worse than the shoe.
That's way worse than
That's
this
way.
shit.
Have you
no,
done it?
wait, that's not weird.
You've done that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Karen's like,
Karen's
I
like, let's
won't
get
do
off the back of the
Yeah.
Zamboni, all right?
I
The
won't-
shoe's way worse.
Yeah, I won't do a shoey,
That's
but I'll
my
drink a
shoe.
beer off
Ew.
a
You
dirty
don't know what's been on that floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You've done that?
please. I
I'll mop up a
unwillingly.
beer off the floor.
Yeah. Frat basements.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's clean.
Oh, yum.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
all
So
right?
you've done that.
Well, it was a table, and it was like a second, but
I'm impressed.
What the hell's
I
going
know.
on?
It's a
I didn't
weird
see that coming.
threshold.
I did
I
not.
really didn't see
It's
that
a
coming.
weird threshold. I didn't say it
Wow.
made sense.
So never shotgunned a beer, never done a
Yeah.
shoey,
Yeah.
but sucked
Zamboni.
beer off
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
That's a
What's
that's
wrong
a
with
great,
you?
I know. No, not a lot.
You mind if I
I
ask
respect
what's
the hell
wrong?
out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right here for that. God, people on a
God.
Sunday morning.
I wanna see her do a
Anyone that's
Zamboni
hungover
tonight.
watching this show on a Sunday is like, for the love of God, stop
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about alcohol, please. Trying to
Yeah.
forget.
Please.
Oh, well.
Well.
Good for you.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
I'm
get some
impressed.
respect. I
Yeah.
feel like I got to share a little
You
bit.
got it. That's gnarly.
Did I get it?
No,
Wow.
I respect
I-
the hell out of it.
10 days,
I respect
everybody,
it.
to
I
get
didn't do
these
that.
guys respect. Feel good about it. I feel good about it. Oh, talking about
All it took was a Zamboni.
all it took was me to blue collar up.
Yeah. I'm like, this chick's all right.
Throw a Zambo. No, you guys are just spilling beers left and right tonight,
yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
hey.
Hey.
I'm like, no,
Rob
don't.
Sharon!
Put the paper towels away. We got Karen.
She'll come over.
Hey,
Yeah.
brothers.
Sorry. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
when we
just
were
tap her up
yeah.
so hard. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're so awesome.
It's just so cool.
She keeps
So
spilling her
cool.
own beers, though. It's
So,
getting weird.
Okay, so let me rewind 2 days.
Rewind it.
We're sitting in McMinimans. Guy pulls the menu out.
Yeah. Karen gets
Drink
up.
everywhere. Karen's like, put the
Okay.
towels away.
I was like,
I got this.
we don't need towels,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. He's like, oh, damn it. He's already.
Buddy, put them away.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
At least give me 1 minute to make a decision on whether I want to do this or not.
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute.
Cut to
God.
it. Yeah. You see, Karen had told him to spill it. She's like, do me a favor.
He's like looking at him. He's like, shut. Keep going.
He went to pull it. It
Yeah.
actually did come out like a tablecloth, and I pushed
Karen's
it
like,
up.
oh,
I went,
no.
boop.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, you never know.
that guy
no.
robbed you of an opportunity.
I know. That was you gotta save that for a part. You can't just whip out the Zamboni.
Do you have it on?
in daylight?
Yeah.
Hey,
We're sorry about the chat.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I'm not from there, but it's his shirt.
Shout out to him.
That's good.
Aw, shout
Karen,
out to our
you're
guy.
nuts.
Good for you, Karen.
It's a weird floor and ceiling for me.
That is a really okay.
Anyway,
more you
but I
know.
didn't drink till I was 21. I want to be clear about that boundary.
That's impressive.
Thank God you
Congratulations.
didn't.
So yeah. These
Honestly,
are all
if you're doing this shit at like 25, what the hell would you have been doing at 18?
18.
Yeah, fuck.
But what I'm saying is it was a fully developed decision. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
unfortunately
Yeah,
my
yeah.
best.
Mine
I
were
was
mostly
like, frontal
undeveloped.
smart.
Yeah.
My frontal lobe hadn't
Yeah.
developed at that point.
I
My
hadn't-
frontal lobe,
yeah.
like my random Tuesday at 25 hadn't happened.
Yeah.
Where you just wake up one day, you're like, what the fuck was I doing all those years? What the hell was that? Why did I catch a train across the country? That doesn't make any sense.
29 year. It's like
the
Karen's
hell
like,
was that?
Karen's like, anyone up for a floor beer?
Anybody?
I would. Maybe.
You guys are going to be doing Zambonis by the end of the night.
Honestly. The way you've sold it, I
Honestly,
might do it.
If you're doing a Zamboni tonight, I will not let you do it alone.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm with.
And
Yeah. We'll
especially
do,
after a few shoeys.
oh. Yeah. Or shotguns.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
I think we got to mix it. we got to make a cocktail.
Now that I know
of
that
things
you've done a
tonight.
Zamboni, the shotgun is off the table.
Yeah.
Because you've gone above the shoey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see the shoey's like a downgrade for you.
To be fair, the shotgun will be a pregame to the Zamboni. It's like a segue. Yeah.
You might go from a shotgun to a shoey to a Zamboni in like an hour.
Also, I had said before that guys have drank beers out of a lot nastier places than a shoe, and most guys aren't even doing this shit.
I was over here like,
Yeah. It's like you would like a big majority of the guys
Yeah.
would see you do a Zamboni
God.
and be like, okay, I draw the
I
line.
respect the hell
here.
out of it.
There's
but
the
see,
line.
Here's the thing.
I respect
Can
it.
I say
Yeah.
this? I know this is what this is it. It's a probability thing. I know my shoes have not been cleaned. Like I've worn them ever since. I've never cleaned the inside of them. I know they're dirty. There's a chance that table was cleaned.
Yeah.
And that's my probability.
I'll say this.
All right.
Talk.
You hose your shoes every day.
I do. But that's
So
because
your shoes are clean.
all right,
The
you caught me.
outside.
Just the
You
outside.
haven't
I
washed the
hose
inside.
that because we go to Priest Trail, and
Yeah.
as we know, it kind of torches your new
Messy.
shoes. And I don't want to do that to New Balance because I bleed New Balance.
Great. And any
Stuff.
shoe that we consume
Yeah.
tonight is going to be out of a New Balance shoe.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah.
You are
That's how
so
we know
right.
it's going to be good.
Wow.
Hell of a segue.
Hell of a segue. Shoes tonight, but a lot of shoes on the track.
Great.
Sure, let's go
Great
back.
segue.
Yeah.
I think we got to preview
You're on
what
one.
we have to come.
You
I
are-
am on one.
Day 10 is your day.
Day 10, seizing it by the Zamboni wheel. Anyway, men's 5K, we have up top. It's going to be hot.
That's the first race of the
That's
day.
the first race of the day
That's
at
like
4:30 p.m.
That's like too much right off the bat.
It's
I
right-
like
it's
to
a
settle
lot.
in.
Yeah.
Give me one.
Give me one.
Give me a heat.
Yeah. Fuck. Are you serious? This is
something.
first up?
Straight
Great.
into it.
We got to get there right
Great.
away. Good
This-
seats, 4:15.
You're gonna hate what's next.
Yeah, here I am trying to enjoy the men's 5K. Look over. Karen's drinking a stranger's beer
Yeah.
off the floor.
Hey, you going to finish that?
Hey, I'll get that spill. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sure. Men's 5K right off the bat. This is sick. This is nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So we weren't meant to. I think when the heats went, it was like, let's do a prediction. We're like, no, we got 2 days.
Okay.
So we've had time to sit on it. But this,
Right.
it's going to be one hell of a final.
It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be a really
Oh,
good
yeah.
final.
So how do you see it playing out?
I see it kind of playing out similar to the 10K last night in that I think that it will be kind of a slower race off the bat, and then Grant Fisher will take the lead with like 2K to go, something like that, and really drive from home from there. I think that will be. I think you've got to run the legs out of Cole Hawker.
Right.
He's on fire right now, and that's an understatement. Like
Yeah.
in that prelim 5K, he looked so good. Went from, he was sitting in the very back of the race with 500 to go, hits the front with 400 to go, and it ran the easiest 53 you're going to see. So I do think you're going to need to really burn him off. You can't leave it to even the last 800, 1200. Like, he's strong. He's a sub 13 guy. You're going to need to really, really crank it up from far if you're Grant. And so I think it's going to be far. It's going to be a hard move from a long way out. That third spot, and I mean, I'm not even third spot. Like, I'm saying it like Cole's a lock to make it. He's not a lock to make it.
Yeah.
I think he will make it. I think, but Woody Kincaid, Cooper,
Yeah.
Abdi Nur, like, these are guys that all
Sean McGorty looks good.
are guys that will be in contention to make that team. So it's fascinating.
I was going to say, similar to yesterday, do we have a pick of who we think is going to be like a Susanna Sullivan? Maybe someone who wasn't in contention to win it at the end, but took it out. They kind of drafted off of her, is in tough marathon shape. Who do we think is the strongest in this field? Maybe a sleeper pick that's going to take it out and set that pace.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's tough. Yeah, you don't often see that in the men's races a
good
whole lot.
question. Yeah.
Like, sometimes you'll see a group of people working together, kind of like But yeah, I don't know if
It's someone. If it were to be anyone, it would be someone without the standard. And it's important to note that Woody Kincaid doesn't have it. He doesn't have it in the
Whoa.
window. So if he is contemplating doing the double,
Well, does he have points?
that's the
I'm like,
thing.
what
I don't
are
know
the-
if he's in. I don't know if he's in the quad. That's a great
But you're
point.
saying he ran the time, not in the window.
He's run 12:50 odd.
Recently, or was it like
It must
past
have
the
been
window?
like just outside the window. Yeah, yeah. I'm
He'll be
sure
fine.
points
Okay.
wise he must be in.
He's
Okay,
good.
so I
He's
forgot.
good.
I forgot about the points here. Which is weird. That's my only speaking point. But
Forgot about the
like,
point.
yeah, it'll be interesting. A guy I thought looked really good, and I think he's looked really good all year, and he's got the qualifier. If we're talking about wild cards who could potentially get in there, is Morgan Beadlescombe.
Yeah.
I actually really like the way Morgan runs. If he can stay out of trouble, and if he can be there when the move is made, like it's going to be an aggressive move. I'm actually like nervous to make a prediction on who's going to be the 3, but talking to him in the mix zone, Cooper seemed far more relaxed after that 5K than he did through any of the rounds of that 1500. He seemed a lot more settled. I feel like this 5K is clearly his distance over that 1500. And we like talked about it. I was like, I wonder if Cooper and Cole have this discussion surrounding how can Cole maybe slightly help Cooper to be in good positions and to either make the pace fast or slow or whatever the tactic would be. They're clearly having these discussions over the last day and a half. So I'll be interested to see whether they stick to each other like glue, whether they're positioned at the front. Whether I think those guys will follow each other. I think it'll be Cooper following Cole. I'm really curious to see what their tactics are because I think he's a really, really big shot to make this team. And obviously, it'd be great if the 2 training partners made 2 different teams.
I think it's the tactics for this final will be easier than the 15.
Agreed.
Because I do think it will be a hard move from a longer way out, and so going into this, their mindset is just like, okay, when the move is made, I need to cover it immediately and then just hang, and hopefully, I've got something left to be able to finish and make the team. So I could, because the men's 15 was just so fast and it was still packed and there wasn't lots of there. It's just so much harder to make moves at that pace.
Yep.
So I think this is a bit easier. Will be a bit easier for Cooper. He does look just better in the 5K. More relaxed. I think he definitely has a shot to make it, and especially running with Cole. I think being able to run with teammates makes a huge difference, and I absolutely think he can snag that 3rd spot.
So who do you think then? Who do you think the 3 is?
I think earlier I had set my initial prediction.
I think Grant's a lock.
I had said my initial prediction I had said was Grant, Cole, Woody.
Yep.
I think I had said that
in that order.
And I think I'll stick with it. It's not, I don't want to just be like keep switching my.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
No.
Stay strong.
So
No, stand your
I'll go
ground.
with that, but I do think that that 3rd spot, because it could be Woody, it could be Cooper, it could be Abdi.
no.
And even guys like Morgan is a great racer. He's run fast, but the depth is just so it is incredibly deep. I mean, John McGordy has made teams before. It's incredibly deep. So he would need to run. I think not only would he need to run like a fantastic race, I think other guys would need to run a kind of an off race.
Eric, here's a question for you. What do you think the winning time is going to be, and how does that sort of affect who you think the top 3 could be?
Oh,
because I think that largely affects who that 2nd and 3rd spot could potentially be.
yeah. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be able to predict. Like, I think it will probably maybe be like 13, like 10. I don't know. Like, I think it could be somewhere in that range. It's 1307. Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance it goes under 13 or no?
No. It's just too. I just don't see anybody pushing it from the gun to make it that hard right away. I think it will be honest, but not really quick right off the bat, and then it will be a pretty violent last 2K or something like that. But to even run that fast in that way is really. I mean, if let's say you ran 13:10 with, under 4 for the last mile, that's worth for sure a sub 13. So, and lots of these guys now have a sub 13 pedigree, but for the guys that are kind of on that border, like a McGordy, Morgan Beetlescomb, Abdi kind of strikes me as a sub 13 guy, but at 13:03 PR, I think you need some serious, not just strength, but you need some real leg speed if you're going to want to make that team and be able to kick.
What is the standard?
13:05.
13:05. So for me, I see someone like Woody Kincaid, who he's out of the ones we just all mentioned, right? He's the one that doesn't have the standard. To me, he takes it out. If you're Woody, if he's top 3, he's in with points.
Because he could be in the ranking. Yeah.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
I haven't been listening to the points thing, clearly.
Because Woody
will not lead a step.
Okay.
I don't know if Woody's ever hit the.
Do you want to put a shoey on?
Yeah. I'm like, let's put a Zamboni on this.
Let's put a Zamboni. I raised
should be betting Zambonis.
Yeah,
I raised you a Zamboni on that one.
I think we should be betting Zambonis.
What's interesting with Woody is if it is a really, really, if it's very tough from a bit of a ways out, he needs to cover the moves because he's known for having he's like the Shane Cohen of the distance events. Where he's got just a really impressive last 400, but he needs to cover the move. He cannot let these gaps form and expect that big kick to save him again. Yeah, especially Cole's not going to let a gap form. No. Cooper's not going to let a gap form. Woody's let the gaps form and close and covered it, but I just don't think on a day like today, with how deep this field is, that he can give himself that gap.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think it's going to be an absolute wind-up, which is crazy to think that the back end of these races can look like a 4-minute / sub 4-minute mile.
I mean, it could be like a 350,
what's your prediction?
These, it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise. It wouldn't surprise me to see Grant Fisher run a 352 last mile. He's just, it's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. The last 3K could be something just incredible, and to be able to do that and guys like Woody's got the 10K in him already. Grant does too, but he's just on a bit of a different level than these guys right now, and he's not going to want to lose to a guy like Cole Hawker.
Yeah, I think, and to your point, when the wind-up does come, a guy like Cole Hawker is the most suited guy to be able to roll with a pace like that. I really like Abdi Nur. I feel like if there was that third spot, and we're talking about Woody because his kick is so impressive, Abdi, his focus is on this race. Yeah. This is his race. He's got the standard as well, so he doesn't have to be stressed about whether it's slow and he has to kick, or he's not chasing a time, he's not chasing rankings, he just needs to finish top 3. His kick can be so impressive, but to your point, I guess to your point on all of this, if any of these potential third guys miss the move, they're gone. Yeah. So that crunch point of when the race becomes hot, if you position yourself incorrectly or you miss it by even 5 meters, it's just about over.
Oh you can't catch up with something like this with the speed that's in this field. If you don't match him.
And we're talking about having good kicks. The whole point, Grant Fisher is going to take away the kicks. Even if it's a really slow race, which I don't think it will be really slow, but even if it was a slow race overall with a very hard last mile, last 2K, whatever it ends up being, the kicks are gone.
Yeah.
So, because when you look at, Grant Fisher isn't really known for having this, shot out of a cannon last kick.
He can just whine.
He's just so much stronger than these guys in a lot of ways. So it's about being able to hang and just find something.
Yeah.
Right. And does Cole have that leg speed when it's a slow wind? We've seen him obviously dominate the last 200 of a 1,500 meter run, and he's gone through a lot of rounds. And that's not to say his kick isn't there, but I do think we have seen some, exceptionally, speedy people lose their kick in the last, mile or so.
Yeah.
Now, moving on after that, we've got the men's 800-meter final,
Oh, boy.
which is going to be another absolutely stacked race.
Yeah.
We've got big names. We've betted on, I think, a lot of, different possibilities. What do you guys see playing out today?
I think Bryce Hoppel wins by about 10 meters. I think that guy cannot be beaten.
Yeah, I do think.
He's just. We're talking about guys that and women in these races where it's like, oh, they're in a league of their own. Like we were just talking about it with Grant. This guy's in a league of his own in the 800. He cannot be touched. And the cool thing about Bryce is that he can lead these races at a quick clip and then absolutely decimate a field in the last 200. Like, it's not like he needs to get out in front and then pray that they don't catch him. It's like, no, I'm going to get out in front and then I'm going to go again. And then if you think you can come with me, you probably can't.
Yeah.
Like, he's running 142 for sure. And he's actively called his shot and been like, this is like, bring your floaties. We're going to the deep end. Like, this is going to be hard. And I love what he said to Shane Cohen, where he's like, hey, don't do that shit in the final. It's not going to work. You can't sit that far back. It's not going to work. Like, finals racing is a different beast. So to me, like, Bryce is in a league of his own. Provided he can get, like, we've seen it in the women's final, provided he can stay out of trouble, which I think he will because he's so good at finding his spot towards the front, if not at the front. He's up the track and gone. Like, no one's getting near him, I don't think.
Yeah.
Hobbs is an interesting one for me. Hobbs is a guy that, on paper and the way that he runs, easily could make this team. My only, thought process is what he was talking about in the mix zone of that mental capacity to keep getting up. Now, if he can run 143 and not feel mentally there, that's a scary reality. But I do think that if his legs are now starting to feel it at the back end of these trials, and mentally he's a bit fatigued, and maybe he doesn't quite find that ideal position, which he always does, which is on the outside shoulder of the leader. If he's not quite there and that kick is made, I can see him maybe just missing the team. Brandon Miller to me was really impressive. This is a guy who's ready to rock, I think. So I see it being like Bryce and Brandon, the two guys that I see making this team. Mm-hmm. Throw a blanket for me over Clayton Murphy, Shane Cohen, Hobbs Kessler, and to another degree, Josh Hoey, because I thought he was super impressive as well. Obviously, his time is a lot slower than the others, but we talked about the confidence that he's had now after 5 years of not being able to make this final. Maybe he's a guy who can sneak in there, but Bryce, Brandon to me are the two guys that are going. That third spot is wide open.
Yeah, of course, this is Bryce's race.
Yeah.
So I think he's. It's going to take something. If he doesn't win this race, it will be absolutely wild. I got Bryson first. I do think. I mean, Hobbs looks great. Yeah. Hobbs looks really good. I think he's going to make the team. And I had Clayton Murphy making the team.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to because I'm going to stick with the original prediction. Yes. Clayton Murphy just always gets it up for these races. He's always up. God damn, Clayton, he's up. I think.
Come down for a sec.
Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks incredibly comfortable in these fast semis.
Yeah. He looked good.
And I do think that he's got a real shot to make the team. Mm-hmm. Shane Cohen is a fan favorite. Everyone loves a guy that makes it exciting and looks like he's done. He looks like he's out of the race. He closes like a madman. He gets it done. But I don't think that. I think it's going to be way too fast to do that. And he doesn't really put himself in the race, in these races enough to be able to cover. You're not going to be able to cover that distance on a guy like Bryce if he's making it a sub 143 race like he's talked about.
Yeah. Well, and the question is someone like Shane Cohen gonna listen to, veteran Bryce Hoppel in, his event here and change it up? I think if we see something different, we're either gonna see, something incredible or maybe a strategy that we see, worked for him for a reason. Yeah. I am gonna throw a wild card here. I'm gonna stick to what I said. I do think Bryce Hoppel is gonna take it out. I think Hobbs drafts off of him. And I think he feels better than he even knows that he does. And he snips it at the line. I think he outleans. And I don't think that's maybe because Bryce gets faded back to his kick. I think Hobbs sneaks in there. I think he doesn't know Hobbs is right there. That's my prediction. A finishing kick there that maybe makes the crowd go wild. I see Brandon Miller sneaking in third.
Yeah.
That is my prediction.
It's
Like it.
yeah. I can definitely see all that. That's a weird thing. Like every scenario you run in your head, you're like, yeah, I can see that. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think that's
Painted
a great
it.
point.
Painted it.
Yeah. God. Yeah. You can just make a case of so you could genuinely make a case that Clayton Murphy comes out of nowhere
Yeah.
and like has that patented kick and wins it. I'm curious. I was just looking then because I do think Bryce is gonna blow the doors off it. 142.34, Donovan Brazier's national record. Is that like it's gonna take a lot? Like I don't know. Like maybe it's on the line, but he's gonna give it a fair old. If he doesn't get it, he's gonna give it a fair old shake. I
That's a
reckon. to
national-
Bryce.
Well,
I don't think he'll get it.
Yeah.
To get it after 3 rounds, I mean,
Yeah.
that's tough.
I
But
don't know.
not out of the question. Again, not out
I'm
of
not
the
betting a
question.
shoey on it or a Zamboni. Like, I'm not at that
Yeah.
level of confidence, but I just think it's.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can get
Right.
moving. I don't see it
Well,
as
look,
a
he's
outside of the
he's
possibility.
clearly really fit and is talking about wanting to run these types of times, so you can never count him out. But that
Right.
my boy Don just
Where did he run that?
that was Doha, right? Yeah, that was the final of Doha. Yeah, so
Right.
it's going to be a absolutely great race.
It's going to be a great race, and as we've seen in the women's 800, anything can happen. We can have our predictions lined up.
Yes.
Anything can happen.
I hope everyone keeps their feet.
I hope everyone keeps their
Yeah.
feet. Something where we did see some jostling and tussling was in the women's 15 semifinal. And we've got the final coming up at 5:09 today. We saw a little bit of pushing and shoving.
Is this because I'm looking at the start list now,
Yeah.
and Ellie has a yellow. There's not a yellow L. It's a yellow 125.9.
That was
The rule
the
number.
unsportsmanlike
Yeah.
conduct violation. So for anyone that didn't watch the prelim, Ellie and Sage did get into a little bit of a physical altercation. Honestly, it was a shove and a push, and Sage ultimately didn't make it out of the prelim, and so it's just Ellie in there. It wasn't upheld. She's still in the final, but just a violation nonetheless. It was interesting. I think we saw, Sage hold her space, but at the end of the day, Ellie's the finish. She dominated that prelim, and I think something like this is only fueling her to get in position and rock out an incredible final.
I don't get what is this a new thing? I'm like, what is this new rule? What does that even mean?
So, but
And
what
so-
happens? So
a
if she
yellow
jostles
card.
again
Yeah,
today,
is
she can
this-
get DQ'd.
is that's a warning?
Shit.
That's
So she's on notice.
That's so dumb.
It's a final.
She's on notice, basically.
It's like that's
I think
really
that's silly.
really
I
dumb.
think
Wow.
that's really silly.
So
I think if you get out of the semis and it's like, hey, don't do that again.
Would we see this?
Leave it like
would,
that.
Would we?
What happened to
Crazy.
the Olympics?
I was gonna say, would we see this in a men's race?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
It would
well,
be
we
seen
wouldn't.
as strong.
It'd be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
good for you. Hold
and
your spot.
determined.
What-
No, I think it's a good point. Like, all they did, and I feel like in Ellie's defense, Sage was the one pushing that arm out.
I think
and,
so too.
And
Well,
making a lot of room.
What we saw from this is just my own observation. It was like Sage owned her space because it looked like Ellie was
so
cutting
she
in.
should. It's a semifinal.
No, but what happened was after that, I think Ellie was pissed
Stand your
off,
ground.
kind of rightly so, and then cut in, and it was the second cut in that I think maybe was her unsportsmanlike conduct. So it was a give and a take. But guys, it's Ellie
That's
Purrier
stupid.
St. Pierre.
It's stupid.
That is stupid.
I don't like this
What,
rule.
So she's meant to stay on the outside shoulder and gracefully wait for a position to
I don't
open
like
up.
it.
Yeah,
Like,
but there
no.
was physical pushing. I mean, she was pushed to lane 2, guys. I do think there's something that needed to happen.
No, but I feel like I'm to Eric's point.
It's a rule to. She could have been DQ'd. Do you know what I mean?
It shouldn't be an issue at all. I don't think.
Right.
I think it's unfair that she's carried it to the final. I think if they issued the
Sage
warning
didn't,
in,
yeah.
No, I think for Ellie, like if they issued the warning in the semis, it was like, all right, we've warned you, but we're going to let you go through. I don't think she should have to then live with that in a final, being like, and if you push one more time or we deem that you're unsportsmanlike again, you could get disqualified. If that's how it works, like
I'm with you.
Is that how it works?
I'm with you.
That just seems silly to me.
I think, yes, subjectively, because what we saw was her responding. But I do think if it was Sage that made it to the final and not Ellie, I would love for her to continue to have that unsportsmanlike conduct, scarlet letter on her, because I do think there was some hustle and bustling. And that's designed for everyone, I think, not just certain circumstances.
So she
That's my
comes
opinion.
into the final with
Now-
a criminal record.
Do not touch anyone.
Yeah, like,
all right.
Like there should be a clean.
All right. So
slate.
she's going to the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
She shouldn't touch anyone.
She's
Yeah.
getting a
She's going to
second
the front.
chance. I think she's going to the front. How could you not if you're someone like
Well,
Ellie?
she has to because
She
she
can't touch
can't
anyone.
touch anyone.
She's running scared. No, she's definitely not running scared. She's running, I think, fumed and fueled, ready
Well,
to
she
go.
better not be running fumed. If she touches
Do
someone,
not
she's out
touch
of here.
anyone. The coach is like, nobody, please
Like,
get to the front.
Look, you can't afford it. You got a 125.9 on you.
Yeah.
See,
You're,
do-
do you realize what you've done?
yeah,
It's a
well,
warrant out
Like,
for you.
the
you might go to
interesting-
jail. I
Do
don't
not
think.
touch
I
anyone.
do not think you understand the severity
That's
of what
so
you've
weird
done.
that carries across.
Well,
you're
if
gonna
you're-
serve time.
If you're one of the other competitors, I will say, and you know that.
Oh, I'm boxing her
Are
in.
you not kind of playing to your
I'm
advantage
boxing her
and
in
hoping
for sure.
she hits you
Be
a
like,
little
can't
bit?
touch me.
I'm gonna
Don't touch me.
I'm gonna try and say
I'm
something.
flopping.
I'm trying to get punched in the face.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
flopping.
you're gonna bring up something.
I'm
You're gonna do
flopping.
something personal.
Of course I am.
Oh my
I'm
God.
boxing her in,
Yeah.
and I'm leaning in. I'm thinking like, don't touch me. That's so stupid. Anyway, look, there's probably a fair old chance she was going to be up the front anyway. So,
Right.
God, that is dumb. Anyway,
Right. But what we're seeing is a very fit Ellie St. Pierre. In fact, the fact that she even kind of did a look and like responded to that, I think we're just seeing someone like her. And guess what? In the last, what was it? Was it the USA Champs, or I forget if it was last trials? It was her. Ellie got tripped up in the last final, and she sprinted to the front to get out of trouble. And I'm not saying, you know, I think she's just so fit. I think it's one of those things when you are so much fitter than the rest of the field, and you're running slower than your body wants to, I think your cadence is disrupted a little bit. And I think that's what we're seeing from her. I think she needs to get to the front, out of trouble, make it an honest race, run a 3:56, and punch that ticket and get out of there, Ellie.
Punch that
That's
girl
what
in
I
the
think.
face,
Punch her.
baby.
Just don't
Just
punch
hit her.
anybody else.
You know, Ellie looked a bit. There's been so much talk about her being the heavy favorite with the year she's had. She's certainly not. I think she looked vulnerable in that last semi. It's not. She's not a lock to win this. This is and nobody that raced against her is thinking that she's a lot better than us.
Yeah.
Let's just all fight for second. No, I think Ellie's gonna need to really dig deep if she wants to win this race. She's hot. She's definitely a little bit fatigued. And now she's got a 125.9 on her head.
Yeah,
That doesn't help.
stress.
Nikki looked fantastic in that semi.
Fantastic.
Sinclair looked incredibly good in the
Yep.
semi. Emily Mackay looked really good. Like this isn't just Ellie's race. It will be interesting to see her strategy. I almost think if she goes and tries to make it really hard, she's gonna get kicked down.
Yeah.
Ellie?
I do. Yeah, I think she's gonna. I think if she just tries to make it a 3:58 race, whatever she tries to run.
She's just got to make it a 3:57 race, and I think she runs away with it.
I don't think she
personally.
does.
You think?
I think all these athletes can run because I think these athletes can run
Yeah.
3:57. If you want to make a 3:57
I don't think
race,
Corey McGee runs a 3-second PR.
I
in the
think
final.
Nikki
That's
runs that.
fair.
I think Emily can run that. I think maybe Heather can run that. I don't know if
Sinclair.
I think Sinclair. Yeah, no, I think that Ellie's not going to be able to necessarily just completely run away with it. I think she's had already a big trials, and I think it'll be tough to run away from these athletes.
Yeah.
But that's why we run it.
Yeah.
We're
To
gonna
see.
have to see.
Yeah.
But man, this
Yeah.
is a good one.
That's
I
why.
would love.
That's why.
I'm wondering why we're doing this. Yeah.
I would love to put a Zamboni on a Coogan sweep.
Do
Oh
it.
my God!
You're-
I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
Right here.
What?
Put
oh
her
my
there,
God!
Eric.
Should we start spilling them
Wait,
now?
this is actually disgusting.
This is great odds. You want to do a Zamboni?
Yeah,
at this
you're
point.
not-
It's like-
Wait,
Oh, yeah, yeah. No,
so
I
it's
don't think they're going to
it's like
win.
me saying,
I don't think they're
I'm
going to
putting a Zamboni
win.
in me walking down these stairs after.
So
this.
you have a
Those
Zambi on a
Oh my.
Coogan sweep.
I got a Zandy McXander
Wow.
on a Coogan sweepity sweep.
That's gonna be nuts to see you have to
I
drink
know.
a beer out of his shoe and then
and
off
then,
the floor.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour your beer in the shoe and then pour the last bit of it on the floor.
No,
and
it's
you can
a
go
shoey.
straight. You can go straight
Oh.
into both.
I don't want to do
Wow.
both. That's disgusting.
I have been
Ew.
I like how
staunch
fired up
in
you
my
feel.
beliefs, and
Yeah.
I have been staunch in my
But
approach.
Yeah.
if-
Nikki Hiltz wins this final.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that too. So I don't know.
Then how is there going to be a sweep?
No,
you
don't-
you cannot go from
yeah.
a sweep to Nikki
You're
Hiltz win.
pissing me off now.
Listen,
I just
I've
want
been
everyone
wrong.
to be
I've
happy.
been wrong a lot of times, but I stick with it, and I do not jump.
Will they send
Make
four?
a call.
Will they send four if they're really nice
If you
people?
if you believe in the sweep, I want to believe in you.
All right.
And I will respect the hell out of it, and I'll say, you know what? Yes, Karen believed in the sweep. My belief is that Nikki Hiltz wins. I really think they win.
I respect that.
They was so strong in
Yeah.
that semi. The 1500 is their distance. This is their baby.
Mm-hmm.
They've come through so many. I think Nikki's run 7 straight national 1500 meter finals. They are so primed
Yeah.
and ready for this. The mental freedom that Nikki's
Yeah.
running with at the moment as well just looks so enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
And their performance in that semi, the way that Nikki was able to move through that last 100
Yeah.
was effortless. And I love the little, thank God I'm through.
Isn't
They're
that
having
fun?
with it, which is so great to see. Not to disrupt the New Balance sweep, but I really think Sinclair's the next one across the line.
Wow.
So
Over Ellie.
I had watched the race and I wasn't watching close enough. And I was
Yeah.
talking to Pat yesterday and I asked him, I said, who do you think goes through? He said, Nikki was really impressive, but go back and watch Sinclair because she was boxed for a fair way of it. And then once she got out, she moved through effortlessly. So I think that she's second. Now, of that New Balance trio, one of them is going to be in that third spot.
Emily.
I think it might be Heather.
Nice.
So I'm going to go outside
Nice.
all of it. And listen to this. I'm not going to switch. I'm going to say they're the 3. All right? And I'm, you know what? I'll Zamboni, I'll Shuey, I'll Shotgun, I'll whatever you want. That Nikki wins this 1500. I am so convinced of it.
Okay.
And you will not see me change that opinion. And when I'm in the mix zone and I'm talking to Nikki and they've got that gold medal around their neck, I'm going to say, you saved me from a shoey. And I
saved-
love
no.
that. So thank you.
You saved me from a Zamboni.
Yeah. I'm going to live
And
stream
they're gonna be like,
Karen Zamboni
what?
later.
I saved you from a
Yeah.
Zamboni.
Obviously, it's going to be one hell of a final. Different to what we were just talking about with the men's 5K, where it's like, it's going to be, a devastating kick. They're going to wait around. It's going to be a devastating kick. This is going to be hot from the gun. This is going to be fast from the gun. You have nearly every woman here that's run 4:02 or faster.
Yeah.
Right? That is crazy. The Olympic qualifier is 4:02.50. You guys were like 0.2 of a second away from having nearly everybody inside the Olympic qualifier in a 1,500 meter final. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You guys don't appreciate what you have in front of you. You don't get it.
Just stop
You
it,
don't
dude.
get it. You don't get it. It's
Ah.
crazy the depth that you have. But they're my 3. And I think Heather comes out on top in that New Balance crew. But, God, it is going to be an absolute banger of a
People
final.
are kind of, I think, glossing over Elise Cranny, though. We haven't
Yeah.
really mentioned her much yet. And
Well, here's what's tough. There's a lot of people you're gonna end up glossing.
I mean,
Like,
Yeah.
they're all-
It's a glaze.
faster.
Yeah.
You got
It's a
10 of them.
glaze.
There's
donut
just,
out
it's,
here.
It's there's so many people. I'm gonna
them.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna really
Lock
flip the
in.
script.
Yes.
And I'm
Flip
gonna say
it.
Emily
Flip
Mackay
it.
for the win.
Whoa!
Yes.
Let's go, dude. I think she's looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a
I get it.
And she's
157
running well.
800 girl. She's run 359. She can hang with the fast pace. She's got the clothes. I'm gonna go Emily for the win. I'm gonna go Nikki in
Yeah,
second. I'm gonna go
there it is.
Sinclair in third.
Oh!
It's,
Yes!
but like, but here's the thing. Like we just said, I have now glossed over Heather.
So many.
I have now glossed
And
over
Ellie.
Ellie, and I don't want to do that.
But you
You think I wanna
here's
do
the
that?
thing. You think I want to do this
No,
shit?
Eric, this was
Dude, you
Ellie.
think I
You
wanna
went like
do
this. You
This
went
is
like this.
Yeah.
This
You
is
didn't
why.
even look
This
at
is why
it.
when Emma Coburn came on the show, she goes, I'm not doing predictions.
Yeah.
Don't ask predictions. I don't like it at all.
And in this scenario, you are
I
Emma
don't like
Culver.
it. I don't enjoy
this is the
doing
hard
it. No
part.
one enjoys doing
This is
it.
the hard part of the job.
Yeah.
I don't like doing this shit.
This is the stuff people
because
don't
I
think about.
think Heather could make the team, and then I got to sit here while Mitch's ass is like
gloating.
you glossed over
Yeah.
that.
And I will be
Over.
Glossed over.
if my top 3 works out, I'm gonna be insufferable.
Yeah, no, you are.
Insufferable. Yeah.
And then
We're not gonna
And now it's like, oh,
associate
you
with
really
you.
didn't pick Ellie. I'm like, can you just shut up? Just shut up. Yeah,
I tried. You know how many of them there are? Someone has to miss. And I fucked it up and I didn't call it right. I'm sorry. I'm not a bloody, I can't tell the future. If I could, I'd be a rich man. Okay? But I can't.
Imagine if you could tell the future.
Oh
and
my
you're just
God.
doing
What
this
if
shit.
Mitch knew this whole time? He knows what's going to happen.
I've got the script.
But not to the New Balance pledge.
I've got
That's
the
only
script.
script.
Yeah, that's the only script I don't.
You
use.
know it all
But yeah,
except
I
the
put one New
pledge,
Balance.
Mitch.
I put one New Balance.
Because there is a shot. There is
Be
a
happy
shot.
with that.
Elise, we did a whole lot of
We all
glossing
put
when it came
someone-
to
this is
Elise.
the most
she can
different.
make it.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole lot of what because
Yeah.
the team I just said, none of them could make it. There's a chance none of them make it. It's insane.
Me too.
Don't look at me like that.
This is the most controversial top 3
Yeah.
I think
No.
all 3 of us have predicted, though. We have different people.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is crazy.
Wow.
We haven't even mentioned Addie Wiley. Like, there's just so
What about
many,
your girl Helen? You guys have been spruiking
Oh, I
Helen.
love Helen. Wait, I love Helen floating open.
We've been
Spruiking.
spruiking.
What?
Spruiking at the top of your lungs. Helen.
you are-
Then you get to the final, and you go, nah, don't worry about Helen.
You're pissing in my pocket.
No, don't piss in his pockets.
Fix in there.
My pocket,
No,
my
no
pockets
one
are
wants
soaked.
that. That might get mixed
God.
in. We don't want leakage.
Real lack of consistency up
My
here.
God.
Real lack
I
of
can't wait for the
consistency.
post-race show.
We've done 6 shoeys in the stand.
Well, Eric, are you going to be...
I've been kicked out of the media zone.
Everybody, we got to
So
get
you
this
can't
guy
keep doing that
in
in
a
here.
speed suit for the post-race show. Would you please go like the video because we want to see
not
Eric.
getting the numbers. Right? It's not there. You're too far away. You Shane Cohen the shit out of the likes with this post. You can't close the gap, baby. Maybe I'll put it on if I'm feeling what?
Do you put it on
Drunk.
still?
if I've done 6
Enough
Zambonis,
shoeys, yeah.
2 shoeys, I've ingested all the bacteria Eugene's got to offer, I'll toss this shit on.
It couldn't get any worse. I might as well put the
I
speed suit
personally
on.
will respect you less if you put it on and you haven't got the likes.
What?
Really?
You set a standard. Don't cave. Don't just cave.
Dude, remember when I said 20,000 likes?
You nearly got sucked into 2,000.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah, I'll come down 18,000
No,
likes. Yeah, that seems like a good
500
price
likes
range.
and I'll do it.
Yeah.
500.
Oh, man, that was good.
Wow, I think you got to do it. You got to give the people what they want. I would respect you more if you
I
did
think what
it.
it should look like is if you get the 4,000 no matter what, yeah, you have to do it.
Well, obviously.
No.
that-
Well, let me fucking finish.
Sorry.
Jesus.
No, sorry. Yeah, let him come
Like
on.
this morning,
Let Mitch-
I'm trying to eat
come
the
on.
first breakfast I've had in 10 days in peace. And I'm like, this is so nice. And Eric comes trudging up the stairs. We're 1 block away from this place. And he goes, okay, let's go. You're coming with me. Fuck! I just want to eat my chicken calzone by myself with a coffee. Go away. And Eric's like, yeah, let's go. Come on. I want to
calzone?
go. I'm Eric. I want to go.
Wait, a calzone for breakfast?
Walk there yourself.
It is. All right.
Shit.
Yeah.
I was fuming.
It is about a 45-second walk from here.
He's like,
to,
come on.
From here to the house. I walk upstairs and
You're enjoying that? Come on.
Mitch
it on the go.
Mitch just sat down with his breakfast, and I'm like, all right, bud, we gotta go.
Come on.
We're gonna be late.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm
Do I
fixated.
look ready?
Were you in your pajamas? Were you in your pajamas?
I might as well have been, honest to God. I had a mouthful of food.
But
And
hold
Eric
on.
looks at me and goes, this is the time to ask. Hey, you ready to go?
Time to go, Mitch.
I look ready. What part of me screamed ready? Was it the
Can we back
microwave
up?
still on or was it my mouth still eating breakfast?
Hold on, can we
What
back
kind
up?
of
Can
life?
we
I'm like, I
back
don't want
up?
to walk alone.
You had a chicken calzone
That's
for
what-
breakfast?
That's not
Yeah,
the weird
are
part
we-
of this story.
That's rule
That's
one.
not the weird part of
That's
this
why I'm
story.
like, dude, you're eating a
I
trash That's breakfast.
I didn't hear anything after that. All I heard was chicken calzone at 6 a.m.
And they look at him and go, all right, so we got to go, Mitch, please.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, please.
I think Eric helped you. He was
And,
like, please.
well, I was
No,
like,
I still ate the calzone. I had to eat it on the wall.
well, that's why, because I was like, dude,
you
that's
roadie the calzone?
That's a portable meal.
No,
you can
it's
take
saucy.
it on the road.
Isn't it saucy?
It was good. Well, it was good. And then it was not good.
I don't think that's a
The
roadie meal.
The calzone is not the weird part of this story, okay? The weird part is that Eric's over 30 and can't walk to the pod by himself. And then gets on this show regularly and complains. And he's like, I'm hungry. Oh, this is so hard. And then I get one chance to eat by myself. And Eric's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. You're coming with me.
Oh man,
my
you should have
God.
taken a bite out
I'm
of
scoffing
it.
down a coffee. I'm like, I've just made it. But yeah, I guess I'll bring it. That's why, where's that cup? That's why this cup is always here. They get no chance to drink my coffee at home. Eric's like, come on.
Shoot.
the way that Mitch, he was like, I'm like, hey, you ready to go? And he goes, sure.
Like, what am I supposed
Sure.
to do?
It was a hopeless
I'll
show.
come with you.
You might as well make this
To
a little bit
debunk
worse.
the calzone thing,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, let's back it up.
There's like heaps of them in their house now because we went from having
Hey,
no
wait,
food to
there's heaps?
overkill.
Yeah, no,
we went from having
this-
no
hold on,
food
yeah.
to like,
Wait.
oh, we may as well start selling these out the window.
I need to
we
get
ran
a visual.
calzone
Dude,
shop
I
now.
was so
We
stoked.
got so much food.
Last night, we
So much food.
we went from
Heaps.
never eating dinner to we had 2 dinners last night.
These guys, no.
Dude,
We did. That's
we did.
fair.
Yeah.
We had
It was
rice.
amazing.
We had rice bowls,
And they were
then,
healthy,
And then
and they were great.
We did some rice bowls again.
Around 10 o'clock, Matt
Yeah.
goes, "Should we do another dinner?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, let's make up for some stuff.
Absolutely,
Let's
let's
make
do a
up for
second
some
dinner.
stuff.
He's like, "We're doing calzones." I go, "Perfect." I
Wow.
text Mick. Actually, you know what? You know why you got that calzone?
Yeah, because you texted me.
Because I texted
You
Mick.
did text me.
Mitch was gone, wandering around Eugene.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting
I
up to
was.
God
Were you?
knows what.
I was talking to my girlfriend and then my
Okay.
sister.
No, it's my time now.
Shut up, you had your moment.
Shut up, dude. Guess who looked out for him and said, "Hey, we're ordering calzone, second dinner. Can you believe it?"
Okay, well, you
Do
didn't
you-
attach the second dinner part. You said
It'd be
you
a great
want,
leftover.
I think you said you want calzones.
Wait, pull it
Yeah.
up. Pull it up.
And then-
pull up the text.
What did
Pull
you
it
say?
up.
Oh, I
Actually,
did.
no,
I said,
I didn't even get a
Eric,
thank you.
You
Whoa,
want
wait.
something from Doko? Question mark. I said something fat and greasy, the usual.
Not a thank you. Nothing. Nothing. He's wandering around just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll, yeah, here we
Actually,
go.
and then to shout out Mac, I was still on the phone and Mac walked out to the car and he yelled out to me, he goes, "I got you some dinner." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And then I was gone a while, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I came back in the house, everyone's sitting in the living room, and I didn't say a word to anyone about "Great day, guys." I said, "Do you have my dinner?"
He's a dick. It was a dick move.
And they're like, "It's in the
You got
kitchen."
straight to business.
Yeah.
No, it was a dick move.
Did you?
I just
I
walked
ask?
straight in and I was like, "Yeah."
Did you eat half the calzone and then you were like, "This is great. I'm gonna save this for the morning"?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
I actually think I hijacked someone else's calzone.
I think it was mine.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Because you walked past me and said, "Oh, this one's mine for later," and you put one in the fridge. So don't come in here and tell me that I ate your calzone because you picked one off the table and said, "Yeah, that's
No.
mine."
No, I think.
See what this is?
I think it was mine from last
This
night.
guy's been eating the
Hold
whole
on.
time.
Calzone
All
gate.
fake.
2024 calzone gate. We gotta get to the bottom of this.
Then
Wow.
Eric's drinking
He-
milk last night.
Eric.
Like a
Oh, I
madman.
was getting a ton of flack for drinking milk.
Hold on. As you should.
No, I drink
What?
a whole lot of milk.
I'm leaning into the milk
No,
gang now. I get
Eric.
it.
I changed my pick to Ellie. Milk drinkers have to stand together. I was getting like crazy flack because I was
You
drinking milk,
drink
which
milk?
also there was milk and cookies last night. We were living like kings.
Yeah, wait, what?
I'm telling you, we went from,
What?
oh my God, I can hear my stomach, to like, I don't even want this food.
Yeah,
We got too much.
So we got calzones and cookies.
That's
and-
too
and the
many
rice
calzones.
bowls.
We had rice bowls, we had calzones,
Yeah,
we had
bananas.
Rice
cookies.
bowls were good.
We had bananas. We had all this shit. And so I of course the cookies
we
I brought
gorged.
out a big old glass of whole milk, and everyone was pretty pissed. I was like, "Are you kidding?"
It was just out of the.
And
was out of the
everyone
blue.
starts being like, "Who you drink milk? You drink
Yeah,
milk? You
what
kidding
kind?
me?
What kind of milk?
Whole milk?
That's getting worse.
Straight from
it's
the cow.
getting worse.
No, you should be drinking whole.
I
we should all be
shifted, yeah.
drinking.
Once he explained it, I was like, I get it.
Have you
And
always
then-
done that?
I said Eric.
And then
Have you
you
always,
said-
wait, have you always been this way?
And then yes, I've always been a huge milk guy.
Milk and
Yeah.
snorkels.
And
Always
then
been.
Milk,
Yeah.
snorkels, you know the
And
drill.
then Mitch was like, "This is pretty good actually," and sent me a video at midnight chugging milk. I'm like, dude, get to bed. We got a huge day.
Who chugging milk?
Me.
Yeah. Then Mitch went from team, that's really weird you're drinking milk, to I'm going to start drinking a whole lot of
Yeah,
milk.
I went.
Yeah.
I had a really aggressive flip on it.
Yeah.
Because then I wanted to know why. I was like, why are you drinking milk? Eric's like, oh, it's got a lot of protein. It's good for you to like bulk up.
I've been
So I
bulking,
thought-
baby.
Do you put protein powder? It's just milk.
I'll do it both, right? Because
Okay.
when I'm trying to get a lot of calories and a lot of protein, a lot of
Right.
fat,
At
I'm drinking
11
a ton.
p.m.
I'm trying to drink a ton of milk.
I'm about
When
it
I
now.
when I haven't early on this trip, a little right. So when we're not eating as much, let's go back.
Let's go
Fuck
back.
it. I don't
Let's
give
go
a
back
shit.
to day one.
It's all completely.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all,
Unraveled
it's
here.
all
We've all-
done.
it's all
Right?
unraveled.
We've
Might as well.
done the previews. Who gives a
Yeah,
shit?
yeah, yeah.
Right. So
No time limit.
it's like, oh, I don't want to eat another protein bar and all this shit.
I
We
get
haven't.
They've got a
we
chalky
haven't.
taste. Is
And
that,
so it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get a lot of calories in me quick. I'm gonna drink a lot of milk right here,
Wow.
right now.
Yeah.
Go to the store, get a bunch of milk. I'll do some chocolate milk, but it's always whole milk, and I'll just put down a lot of it. Right?
wow.
I'll drink a gallon of milk a day.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask an important question? Do you have? Is it safe? Is it a safe space?
Yeah, it is.
Do you? Okay, I've heard if you have dairy right before bed, you have some funky dreams. I want to know, are you a dreamer?
Oh my God.
On
yeah.
and off the
Oh
pillow.
my God.
I never
yeah.
You
remember
funky
my
dreams?
dreams.
You don't? You have more milk.
No, but I'll wake up and I'll be like, that was wild. And then I'll go to like
Oh,
tell
you
someone about it. They're like, oh, what happened? I'll be like, I got no idea.
I don't actually know. I actually
was
don't
wild.
know.
They're like, oh, good story, Mitch.
That's what I mean. So I don't bring it up.
I had the crazy.
Internally, I'm like, that was a
I had the craziest
crazy
dream
time.
last night. You wouldn't even believe
Yeah,
it.
and they're like, oh, tell me about it. It's like,
What
well,
was
you
it?
wouldn't believe it, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
gotta
don't
bother
know.
explaining it.
I have no idea.
I can't
It's-
remember.
They slip though. They slip
Yeah.
from the grasp, and sometimes they're cool.
That milk did make me feel, and maybe it's not the milk's fault, it's the chugging of the milk that was the
Oh.
problem. I didn't feel great for at least the first 20 minutes of
That'll
trying to
do
fall
it.
asleep.
You're like,
I didn't feel great.
okay, I'll shit my pants, I guess.
But the
my
milk, it's the milk and the
I was like,
calzone. Is it
come
the,
on.
It's a good time to find
milk-
out
so-
if you're lactose intolerant.
It's a great test.
I just realized I'm lactose intolerant after all the calzones and milk I've been doing.
I didn't even eat the calzone last night. It was a
You
conscious
saved it.
decision. So I'm going to really level with you. I did
Level
eat
up.
the rice bowl, and I went, that was really good. I could do some more. And then I thought about Eric's milk thing, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I sent him a video of me chugging milk? I thought I'd get a better response, and Eric was like, all he said was, welcome to the milk game. And I was like, well, that wasn't worth it.
Well,
and then
yeah.
I went to bed, and I was like, I feel so sick.
was it his milk that you chugged?
I'm assuming so, yeah. I just took it straight out of the
Wow.
carton.
I love that you
Well-
weren't like, wow, less milk from you. wanted to share
No,
with
he
your
just
milk
said, welcome
brother.
to the milk gang. I
Yeah,
thought
he
I'd get
welcomed
up.
you.
That
That's
was
a
so
nice
funny, man.
gesture.
You're the funniest guy I've ever met. It was
Well,
just
it's not
welcome
funny.
to the gang.
I do it. It's
like,
that's
kinda
not
weird.
It's not like it's
I
not a
thought-
joke.
I
It's not
thought
a
it was-
joke to me.
Oh, okay.
I do that shit all the time. So I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, I'm glad to see you're like turning
Right.
your life around.
You
and
were
you're
like-
now getting your milk under control.
Again,
He's
I don't
on the
think it
right
was the
track.
consumption of
And we're
milk. I think it
bulking
was the
up.
Yeah.
quickness in which I consumed the milk.
Oh.
Where I was like,
Wow.
that was not smart.
Wow.
And I tell you, I woke up this morning, it was not well.
I'll drink a whole lot of milk on the post game show tonight.
Chewy.
I'll shoey some
Would
milk.
you Zamboni some milk?
If
See, I'd be more
To get
inclined.
the cows in?
Okay, this doesn't make sense. But when you say Zamboni milk, that sounds way more appetizing than Zamboniing beers. But
I
it's
love-
still as dirty.
I love how much you love milk now.
I'm right on it.
Yeah.
My old housemate was the same as you. He used to drink like milk religiously.
Legend.
Yeah. This
Did
guy,
you
Tom,
start
shout out
that
to
growing?
you.
Was that reinforced by,
course, we
by
all-
Sheila?
We all drank tons of milk growing up.
Yeah.
I thought everyone did. I genuinely
I
thought
I
everyone
would
I would
drank.
have milk and cereal,
No, it's
but I
the
wasn't
chugging.
getting poured milk in a glass.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
drank a lot. There was tons of milk being devoured in the Jenkins household. Yeah.
Wow.
God.
And chugging, though.
Big
the
milk
chugging,
guys.
was that
If I
particularly...
don't chug the
Yeah,
milk,
yeah.
someone else is gonna come
And chug the milk.
chug the
Yeah,
milk.
You gotta get me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I'm coming for
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
I've got a taste for it now.
I'm honest to God, I'm gonna like.
You shouldn't have put me onto it. I got a taste for it
I'm
now.
absolutely putting the milk in the downstairs refrigerator to hide it from
Oh,
your eyes.
wow.
Look at Eric's been complaining for 10 days. He's got his own apartment in this house with a sauna. God.
Wow.
Hey, look, what's funny is I didn't even get first pick. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll take this, I'll take that. I'm like,
I'll tell
okay,
you why.
I'll take
Everyone
this.
was polite. No, like, we won't take the best room. And Eric walked in and went, yep.
Mine.
No, that's not true at all. I actually, like, that's not true. Not a good quality. I would never do that.
Never.
I'm stoked for today.
Stoked
I'm
for
up
today.
now.
Some other finals I want to say that we
No.
didn't mention. Women's 100
No.
meter hurdles. Men's
Fast.
400 meter hurdles.
Quick. It's
gonna
Women's
be nuts.
400
It's gonna be
meter
fucking World record.
hurdles. I might have said something
Ryan
twice.
Benjamin, world record. Sydney McLaughlin, world
They need a
record.
race.
It's going to
Sydney's
be
hurdles.
incredible.
It's looking
Guys,
too
I want to
easy.
say, though, we have a
I gotta
loaded
piss.
afternoon show.
We gotta get back to that
We
milk.
have
Gotta get back
incredible
to the
guests.
milk.
Back to back.
You got
to
no
back,
time. You got an
to
interview
back.
soon.
Eric is going to get some milk in him, so he's ready for
gotta
all these
interview-
guests
I gotta
coming in
interview
hot.
You got-
Galen
you-
Rupp
you got
in
no
10
time.
minutes.
Yeah.
Galen Rupp. Mitch
You-
is going to go eat another calzone.
You know what? I want you to be thinking about this when you're interviewing Galen.
I gotta
That
interview-
milk is gone
I
by the
gotta
time you get
interview
home.
Galen. I'm not in the
I'm
Galen
drinking
Rupp-
it.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the whole
Jesus
thing.
Christ.
While you're gone.
Milk. Heaps of calzone. You got it
I
all
hope
here.
Chavez is ready.
I've got a second half
Get
of
ready,
calzone to eat in
Chris.
peace.
Let's get ready for
Oh,
day
last
10.
one.
Amazing
All
final.
right.
Last one. Can we cheers it with
Oh my God,
some empty
guys.
coffee cups?
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Well done.
Congratulations,
This was
guys.
a lot of fun. This is fun, guys.
Should we do it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Aw, man, you guys tune in?
We should do this more.
We should. All right,
I don't
anyway.
know. Whatever.
All right, guys, tune in tonight for maybe some more fun. Definitely more
Milk.
fun. Bye.
Bye.
Let me grab a